Germany's decided to shut their borders, according to the right-wing press. But Germany's in Schengen. They're not supposed to do that as a Schengen member, but they have. And they say it's temporary. It's kind of like an emergency situation, a way of curbing the so-called irregular immigration. And what they're talking about is, refugees, economic migrants, whatever their status, people who aren't EU citizens. They're saying that they can no longer sustain them. Now, it might be partly because of Angela Merkel's 1 million migrants coming into Germany. Maybe that wasn't such a wise move after all. It might have been at the time because they were crying out for people at the time, but their economic status is tumbled somewhat. Just like the United Kingdom. Very little or no growth. Now, Donald Tusk, remember him? He's been, making criticisms of Germany regarding this closing or some form of border control. Basically, they're going to man the borders. And he said, if you remember, there's those who voted for Brexit without a clue how to see it through or whatever. And he said that there's a special place in hell for them. And obviously, the right-wing press and the Brexiters, they kicked off. How dare you say that and all that? So he does speak his mind, does Donald Tusk. He's actually, he seems like a really nice bloke, but anyway, he's been kicking off. He said, okay, there's that article there in The Guardian. The German border plan to stop irregular migration is unacceptable, says Tusk. Now, this is pretty hypocritical at the moment because this, I think it was only yesterday or the day before, recently anyway, one of the delegates, probably maybe it's the opposition party or something anyway, is a MEP in the Commission, EU Commission. He was standing up and complaining about migration into Poland. And you're saying that we've got no terrorism and we've got no this and we've got no that because we have no illegal migrants and, we take a harsh stand towards all this. Yeah. And anyway, it's kicking off in the EU. And then Donald Tusk is, now he's actually saying it's unacceptable for Germany to control their borders. Whatever next, eh? We've also got Hungary saying they're going to get the migrants, they're going to put them into buses and send them to Brussels. It's just everything's just up in the air at the moment. It's just everything's just complete and utter mess. And we've got our problems there in France. You got Marine Le Pen and the RN party. Rue Nationale. That kind of worries me because the reason Germany's closed the borders is because of the pressure on the German government from the AfD, which is the right-wing party. This is a political move, obviously, because it's going to be fairly ineffective. Many of the migrants coming to Germany actually come across the forest pass. A bit like what happens in Mexico to the United States on the southern border. They're going over wasteland. In this case, they're going through the forests. Because all the borders are only on the roads, it's not going to be that easy to stop, is it? Unless you're going to be putting the razor wire everywhere. Crikey, which wouldn't put it past them. No, maybe not. But you look at what some states in the United States done. They got these buoys going across the flipping sea or rivers and that with these saws on them. It's horrendous what's going on at the moment. Absolutely horrendous. Maybe we should breed them out. We should have pre-nuptial, and we need to breed out racism. We need to be all the same. Yeah. Coffee-coloured people by the score. The big old melting pot and all that. Remember that song? Now, we've got countries in the EU who are kicking off saying Schengen basically isn't working for them. And then we've still got countries who are members, but they're not in Schengen. They haven't been accepted into Schengen, such as Romania and Bulgaria. They've been waiting over a decade to get accepted. They got rejected, and they got rejected again last year. Croatia got accepted. So it's it makes me wonder. The other thing about this is about the environmental cost as well. You know, whenever you've got borders, there's people waiting, and if people are waiting, there's CO2 emissions. And there's already, with the borders and what have you, there's 46,000 tonnes of CO2 released into the pollution and all that because of border control. That's quite a lot, to say the least. And I do wonder if Germany can actually afford this, because any control at the borders, no matter how small it might be, does cause delays and economic delays. It will also encourage people not to take that route if they've got an alternative way through. I think France is a bit more difficult because there isn't, you'd have to go the long way. So people aren't going to want to do that. They want a fast route in many cases, don't they? So this is going to affect Germany socially as well, socially and economically, I think, anyway. There's a lot of people who probably just live outside of Germany. Maybe they're commuting into Germany for their work. What's going to happen to them? So you saw what happened with the UK with Brexit and the so-called land bridge. You know, which basically come from Calais across the United Kingdom, lorries were, and then heading to Ireland. And as the UK's bypassed, the ferries literally just bypass the United Kingdom now to save all those checks to get to Ireland, since Ireland is in the EU. So it's a complete and utter flippin' mess. You know, it's obviously nationalism. Also fear. Some people are worried, considering what's gone on in Germany recently, stabbings and what have you, terrorism. I just wish we could all just get on, and just treat people with some sort of respect. But there's a couple of ways a couple of things that have been playing on my mind regarding the migration. Now, we've got a situation in the UK and in the EU and pretty much everywhere in the West where people aren't having babies anymore. We've got we actually got population decrease, natively. So we kind of need these people to do the work that we don't just want to do, but also the fact that we just don't have enough people to do any of the work. It's quite hard to find employees. But you see, the other way of looking at this is if we get a situation where, in say, 15 years' time, robots and AI pretty much end up doing the work better than what we can as human beings, well, then we're going to see a lot of job losses. And then we will have too many people unemployed, and many of them might be people have migrated to the EU or to the UK or whatever, and many of these countries might have to, or might not be able to sustain it, but they might only be. They'll still have product output, but they won't have the jobs. If you understand what I mean, the jobs will be taken by the robots. So we could be looking at UBI, Universal Basic Income. Now, some people think, I love that. I love a great idea. Yeah, but we still want jobs as well. We still want people to have opportunities so they can better themselves and have some drive. I think, of course, depression, argument's sake, they might have the opposite effect, but only if there's still opportunity out there. So you can get your universal basic income, but you've still got the opportunity to work if you want to. Because obviously the whole premise of universal basic income is that everybody gets it, whether you're, wealthy or not. But if we've got too many people, we'll be paying out too much universal basic income, UBI, we won't be able to afford it. So there's lots of ways of looking at it, you know. Oh dear. Well, even Elon Musk, he said that it'll be inevitable, that robots will be able to do the job better, and some sort of universal basic income would be inevitable. I know the bloke's an idiot, but stock clocks will usually right at least once a day, maybe twice, 24, 12-hour clock. But anyway, I just think it's crazy. Everything's just crazy at the moment. And it worries me that other countries are going to follow suit, because everyone seems to be kicking off at the moment regarding migration. And quite frankly, because of stuff that we've done has made it worse. Our interference are either starting wars or prolonging wars, or I'm talking about in the Middle East. I don't know. Everything is flipping broken. You tell me. Please leave it in the comments down below. Yeah. Maybe beat the like button, maybe subscribe to the channel. A little bell icon, because then you get one face in your pocket every time I upload another video. So, anyway, toodaloo. Crikey, whatever next day.